Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the other side of the coin, and welcome to your latest Chelsea. Well, it's not really a news; it's more of Chelsea talk, Chelsea, situations that our players have put themselves into. Do you know what? A few days ago, this Instagram post happened of Kobbie Mainoo. As you can see, Kobbie Mainoo on the screen. He's in the gym. He's at the gym, in the gym, whatever. Sometimes English is just crazy, right? He's at the gym, in the gym, whatever the case is. He's there working out, and he put up a post with some sort of music in the background, basically trying to insinuate that he's locked up. He's not been able to be set free. He obviously, as you guys all know, wanted to leave Man United in that final few days of the transfer window, wanted to go out on a loan, and then Man United blocked all of that because ultimately they didn't end up getting any midfielders, and they need Kobbie Mainoo to stick around. Kobbie Mainoo at the moment is not being favoured. Ruben Amorim categorically seems to have not favoured Kobbie Mainoo one bit. And we're going to talk about all of that in detail. So he put this post up on Instagram, trying to insinuate that he's kind of staying at Man United against his will. Now, off the back of that, ladies and gentlemen, when this post first came out and it was circulating around social media, right? Because Cole Palmer, our own Cole Palmer, commented on this Instagram post of Kobbie Mainoo saying, "3, my boy." Now, when that comment first came up and it was circulating around social media, I had no idea what was going on. I was like, "3, my boy." Like, I'm not really sure what this new generation's up to. Does that really mean anything? I didn't pay too much attention. I absolutely did not pay too much attention until yesterday. I started seeing some clips of few people sharing Mark Goldbridge talking about this situation. Now, 3, my boy, silly me, is actually free, my boy. Free. I'm too old for this sort of stuff. I'm not aware. 3, my boy, love her, is actually free, my boy. So Cole Palmer trying to add his little spice as well in the mix of all of this shenanigans that's been happening with Man United, where Kobbie Mainoo clearly wants to leave the football club, at least on loan, and he's been held as hostage, it seems like. And Cole Palmer putting out free, my boy. So off the back of that, let's go through all of the incidents that has happened, and then I'm going to give you my whole perspective on it, my opinion on it, and basically, my reaction on all of this. So Cole Palmer put that out, and this is what Mark Goldbridge had to say. So let's put my headphones on. So obviously, Kobbie Mainoo posted this Instagram post. Cole Palmer commented, "Free, my boy." And this is what Mark Goldbridge had to say. Let's go from the top.
As for Cole Palmer, don't give a toss. Free, my boy, or whatever. Mate, you play for Chelsea. Cole Palmer is just a big banter merchant. I don't even care. Like, if Baleba had done this at Brighton and Cunha had put "free, my boy," we'd have all celebrated it. I ain't got a problem with Cole Palmer. He's just bantering Man United fans, and he's probably bored on the international break because he's injured. They have a lot of time. They're on social media. He might be watching this right now. I doubt it, but you never know. I ain't got a problem with Cole Palmer. Maybe he does want Mainoo at Chelsea. Maybe Mainoo wants to go to Chelsea. I don't know. But all I'd say is if Cunha did that to Baleba, we'd all be celebrating it. So I'm not interested in that at all. What I am interested in is why Mainoo's putting in that drummer in the middle of a training photo about a guy who not being valued by his coach. That's not a good thing. And the message, whether it's meant to be like that, has come out like that to some people. And United need to get a hold on this. You've forced him to stay. You need to treat him better. You can't force him to stay and put him in a situation where he's still very, very frustrated.
Awesome. So obviously, excuse me. Obviously, this whole Cole Palmer, banter merchant, as Mark Goldbridge has said, I want to talk about this in detail. Like, everything that Mark Goldbridge has said is actually on point to a certain level. Obviously, he's mentioned it a few times that he's got no problems with Cole Palmer. Of course he doesn't, but he's annoyed. He's annoyed. He definitely is annoyed. And of course he's annoyed mostly with Kobe Mainu. Now, before I go into a little bit more details from Mark Goldbridge's clip, I want to share my thoughts now. Now, before we quickly share my thoughts, Kobe Mainu responded to United Stand on Instagram, United Stand run by Mark Goldbridge. So Mark Goldbridge obviously had to say his piece. We're going to go through a little bit more of what he actually said in that entire video, not just the Cole Palmer part, but they've also put up a post about this on their Instagram, the United Stand, saying, is Kobe Mainu's recent Insta post a cause for concern? Or is it just a coincidence that's being blown out of proportion? Kobe later on replied, stretch. So look, before we get into all of the Mark Goldbridge's, a little bit more of the clip, because it adds to the context, I want to go back to this, right? I want to go back to this. Let me just put this away. First of all, there's a huge issue that's happening with Kobe Mainu, and let's not forget, Kobe Mainu has been linked with Chelsea. Now, he put his hand up to leave in the final few days out on loan. Now, I wonder who he had who he had in his mind in terms of going out on loan. I'm starting to think the fact that Cole Palmer put out "Free My Boy," maybe he was thinking about coming to Chelsea on a loan. Look at all the madness that we did right at the end as well. So I wouldn't put it past the fact that if Man United opened the doors up, he might have come on a loan to us. I don't know, because we were previously linked with Kobe Mainu. I'm putting, 2 and 2 together. The other side of the coin here is, look, as much as Cole Palmer is doing this, I feel like, I know Cole, look, he's mates with Kobe and he's doing all of this, but it all comes out like a bit of a banter thing, like as Mark Goldbridge said. And I feel like sometimes Cole Palmer, yes, great, it creates a mad reaction in the fan base, but I feel like just stay away from these sort of things, man. Cole, like, honestly, stay away from these sort of things, because it creates added, tension, added, spice into the whole situation. Like, Man United fans have obviously seen this. Man United fans are not, stupid. They've seen Kobe Mainu's post, and then they've seen Cole Palmer's comment, and there's no need for Cole Palmer to put himself in that mix, even if he is trying to be supportive towards his mate. I feel like don't get yourself into unnecessary problems. Do you know what I mean? Like, stay focused. One, you're injured. Two, stay focused on coming back and doing well for Chelsea Football Club. It's an important season. And don't forget, Cole Palmer's been struggling in the Premier League for this entire year. Last season as well. This season, obviously, he's been injured for the second from the final 2 games before the international break. He played in the first game against Crystal Palace, which was 0-0. So I feel like Cole, forget about all of this stuff. Forget about putting all of this spice into the mix. And I'm like, this is the thing with modern era players. Like, they're too involved. Like, and we're going to get to Kobe Mainu as well, because it seems like, we've been linked with Kobe Mainu. We have been linked with Kobe Mainu. And I want to talk a little bit about Kobe Mainu. Why is it that you aren't being picked? Why can't you break through with Ruben Amorim? I mean, look at that midfield in Man United. It's literally non-existent. How come you're having to put your hand up to go out on loan? Like, surely it just can't be the fact that, oh, Ruben Amorim doesn't rate me. You're a young player. You've been doing so well prior to Ruben Amorim. What has happened? It can't just be the manager just doesn't fancy me. It has to be a lot more than that. Are you not training hard enough? And all of these players, young players, and their online activities, their presence online seems to be far too much, man. Far too much. They don't seem to be focused on their career often enough. And I get it, they're young, they're kids, but gone are those days, like 15, 20 years ago, right? When footballers actually were predominantly serious. Now it seems like a lot of these kids, they're not serious, man. They're more inclined to put subliminal messages online to send a message to the fan base. And then on top of that, Cole Palmer's adding as well. So for me, look, I don't know why Cole Palmer is doing this. Maybe it's just Cole Palmer being nonchalant and being carefree, no problems. But it creates a bit of a crazy scenario. Do you know what I mean? And off the back of what Mark Goldbridge said, online banter merchant. Yeah, well, it kind of turns out to be like that, right? It really does turn out to be like that for Cole Palmer. A bit of a online banter merchant. I feel like as professional players, you don't need to do that. You really don't need to do that. But the other factor is Cole Palmer trying to send a message to the Chelsea fan base that, this is one player that Cole Palmer wants, as Mark Goldbridge said. You know what I mean? Like, maybe Cole Palmer wants Mainu at Chelsea Football Club. Maybe Mainu wants Chelsea Football Club. Who knows? Maybe they're trying to materialize. They're trying to, create something, a situation to make this all happen. So let's have a quick look at that Mark Goldbridge clip now, because I think it'll add a little bit more to the context.
Hello, everybody. Good morning. Welcome to the United Stand. I'm Mark Goldbridge, and this is your latest Manchester United news. And first of all, I've got to apologise because on the 8 o'clock show last night, we were aware of the Kobbie Mainoo Instagram post, and I'll put my hands up and say this is a story. It's a
Do you know what? Just quickly, even Mark Goldbridge was about to sweep this under the floor. Just like me, I had no idea. I didn't know what, free Kobbie Mainoo, which is free Kobbie Mainoo. I had no idea what all of that meant. And I had no idea what even that post, because there was some music in the background for that post for Kobbie Mainoo, which actually had a lot more significance to the whole situation. So I think this is what Mark Goldbridge is about.
Big story. It's a big problem for Manchester United, and it was one, admittedly, that I desperately tried to ignore and sweep under the carpet as irrelevant, but actually it is. And if we're going to be consistent here, there are other players that we have called out for behaviours not dissimilar to this that ultimately caused the Amorim versus Mainoo story to continue. So we have to look at it, and we have to discuss it, and we have to say more drama, and we have to say stop this, and we have to say why is this happening. And I think the club has a massive part to play, because if, as I fear, the player is annoyed that he didn't get his move, then why did the club force him to stay and force that upon the manager? Because the manager's principle is, if a player doesn't want to be here, move them on. And if Mainoo doesn't want to be here, we should have moved him on. And the answer was to bring a midfielder in. And if the club has actually said, you're staying, you're not getting a midfielder.
Now with the Sportsbet AFL Same Game Multi.
It's crazy ads. Now I know how you guys feel when you're watching my videos properly. It's non-stop ads.
It comes down to the club and not Amorim or Mainoo. And that would be an incredible way to run a football club, to say, I know you want to go, but you're not going. And I know you want him to go so you can replace him, but you're not doing that either. Get on with it. Ow. That's crazy. But look, let me give you the context. So essentially, Instagram post from Mainoo, training pictures, absolutely fine. And then the journalist Nathan Salt basically said that Mainoo sharing a picture from the movie Whiplash, which is a guy screaming while he's on the drums, which is on Kobbie's story, is an interesting one, because it's about a rising star that can never seem to satisfy their mentor or coach. I've never seen the film. Apparently it's very good. Whiplash. young drummer, can't please his coach no matter how hard he tries. Also had a message from Connor who said, Mainoo's 4th picture on his Instagram was of Miles Teller in a film called Whiplash. In the film, he plays a character who is massively talented at playing the drums, but his mentor constantly undermines him and downplays his talent and even lets others who are obviously worse play in concerts over him. It results in the character basically having a mental breakdown as he feels like no matter what he does, he'll never be good enough. I think people are seeing the post Mainoo has done as him saying, no matter what I do, I'll never be good enough to play. So what's the point in staying or trying, essentially? That, along with the Free My Boy from Cole Palmer, looks to confirm that the message he's trying to send. I don't even know if you read these, but I thought I'd explain it. Well, thank you very much to Connor. Thank you very much to everybody else. And look, my big issue with this is that the youth of today live their life through social media. They express their life through social media. A mood with a bit of music is so instantly gratifying for them, you're never going to stop it. Manchester United cannot ban people from using social media. And unfortunately, it is a way to express emotion. And that is a problem when you are a football club like Manchester United, which is on its arse and very toxic. We shouldn't have this because this destabilizes whatever project we're trying to build. And whether Mainoo intended that, I don't think he's stupid. In fact, I know he's not stupid. And I know the people around him aren't stupid. So is it a massively naive, coincidental thing? Or is it actually sending a message? And the question is, the answer is, we don't know. Therefore, it's sending the message. He might have done that because he's working really hard and he likes the film. He might have done it to send the message that my coach is a twat. Like, we don't know. But the ambiguity basically sends the message to some people that the coach is a twat. And therefore, the Mainoo versus Amrim thing carries on. This is bad, bad, bad from the club, because when that transfer window closes on Monday night, it shouldn't be told you were staying, get to work. It should have been, right, you're staying. How do we make this work? And clearly, a few days later, it doesn't feel like that's happened, which therefore to me falls on the club again for mismanaging what is clearly potentially a very, very big issue. There are people out there that don't like Amrim in this fan base and will back Mainoo on this. And there are people out there that will not want to see another young player behaving on social media like previous players have. It wasn't too many years ago where every international break, we had a Pogba story. It's not that long ago where we had Garnacho walking around in a Villa shirt. Now, Mainoo's not doing that, but we don't want any indication of any Man United player doing that. And why is it always Manchester United? So I just think that, look, it could be a storm in a teacup, and I hope it is. But the fact that it's out there, and I've never seen the film, and people are reading it that way, I think it's problematic. I mean, I read a tweet this morning. And
there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That is the context of the whole thing. You know, Kobbie Mainoo, of course, is not happy with the situation at Man United, and I feel like someone like Cole Palmer, just don't get yourself mixed up in all of these things. Really don't get yourself mixed up. Try your level best to focus on your position, on your, where you're heading in terms of your objectives and goals for this season. I feel like these sort of things, when Cole Palmer adds his 2 cents, adds his, comment off the back of that post, it just creates unnecessary attention. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me know your thoughts. I think Mark Goldbridge, at the end of the day, is somewhat right. Online banter merchant. He's injured. He's doing this, but I feel like, is there a move that's happening here? Is Cole trying to send a message as well? Bottom line, I feel like stay away from all of this. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know your thoughts about this whole situation. As I said, I had no idea what all of that meant up until recently when I just saw everything. And I'm like, whoa, crazy. Didn't know that Cole Palmer was trying to send that kind of message. But here we are. Ladies and gentlemen, smash up the like button if you're here for the first time. Subscribe, hit the bell notification to stay in touch with all my content. Until next time, take care. See ya. Bye.